Alright, we're gonna get this rolling here. Give me a second. There we go. Right? Totally fine. No drop frames. Everybody's happy on the stream side. Perfect. Perfect. Alright. Your boy's getting better at this. You know that? You would think after all those Factorio live streams that I did that I'd be better at this, but I'm running a completely different setup now than I was. It basically involves two computers. One that actually runs the game, one that does all the streaming. And it makes it work a little better, but it's awkward to me. So I'm figuring out how to run it. Anyway, enough about that. We're going to get in here today and figure out how to get this pump built to start with. I do remember that. Among trying to get a more permanent food solution than just growing these soda cane things that are basically just a giant stick of salt. So, right now... Oh, I also need to plant some of this stuff. That has to be underwater. We'll plant those. They look nice. That's a totally temporary thing anyway, so... Who really cares? Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Looks nice. So, what I need to also get going here is a better med bay and stuff like that. But they're going to go ahead and build that. This will get me by for now until I can get rid of this thing and also get rid of all this water. So, sorry, I forgot about that. We're going to make this work. Now, also, we have this guy on this planet that is currently toiling away building this giant water tank that I totally forgot about. Sorry, mate. That's a really crappy job to have there, but, you know. Also, I've realized I don't... I'll leave them. I kind of do need them, actually. We're doing some research for the textile loom, apparently, and some drywall. That can't be what I actually needed, right? Okay, yeah, I needed exosuits. That's right. Alright, we're back up to speed. Makes sense. So, I need to get in here. Oh, they changed the texture of crude oil. Look at that. Dude, that looks so much better than what it used to. I always thought that the oil texture in this game also needed up. In fact, I thought that every liquid in the game needed to have like a major update of what it looked like. Because all the materials looked way too similar before. But now, like, the oil actually looks like oil, you know? And the water, like, polluted water is a little bit dirtier looking. So it actually looks kind of polluted instead of just being green like it was before. This water is downright beautiful. That stuff is stellar. And it's actually salt water because you can see the little salt cubes floating around in it. You know what I mean? And fresh water, I'm not real sure what fresh water actually it looks like this. So this is what all the liquids used to look like. Right here. They all used to just look like a different color of this water texture right there. So I'm so glad that they updated it. It's such a small thing. But I think it adds a tremendous amount to how this game looks. So, you know, I appreciate these things. So, on this side especially, like, look at that. And they also updated the gases to where they're a little bit bolder. The air is a little bit more swirly, it seems, but maybe it's just right there that it's doing that. Yeah, it is just right there, because most of the time it's not that swirly. But they made the air a little bit less intrusive on a lot of the backgrounds when it's not moving, which is nice because it used to be kind of blue everywhere. While the pink is a little bit more vibrant, which I'm actually okay with because the hydrogen is a problem if you're trying to have breathable air. So, you know, not bad. We're going to turn all that stuff into latex just as soon as we can, but there's no output for it. And I don't have a way to do that right now. So what I'm going to do is just put a pipe right there. And that's going to be my storage for now, which isn't a lot, but it's something. And I need to do a little bit of explaining. Also, this is outside a stable, so to speak. So I think I have to enclose this area. What's the biggest... Hold on, let me hit the old F11 button here. So the pool size is 290 something tiles. What's the biggest it can be? The barracks. No. The stable. So I got distracted by this, but I do need to figure this out. Stable. Maximum size is still 96 tiles. Is there a separate thing for a pool? No, it is just 96 tiles is as big as it can be. So Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have him build this. I want to leave this right here the way it is. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in there. Now we need to put a door here, which is unfortunate because of its location. So we're gonna have to move this over one and just get rid of those. Alright, anyway, what I was talking about a minute ago was I need to set up some plans here to actually make this base functional in the long haul, because right now it's functional in the very short term, and I need it to be a lot more than that. So what I'm gonna do is start with this farm here, figure this thing out so that it doesn't cook my entire base. So, you know, that's gonna be a bit of a problem, actually. But once that gets all sorted out, we should have a semi-functional base, one that I can use here. Right now I'm just going to box the whole thing in, but eventually I'm actually going to do this as a result of that, now that I think about it. We're going to move this down to here instead of up there where it was. And the reason for that is I want to put a steam turbine on top of this thing eventually. So I don't need those, and we can cancel that. So we'll have a steam turbine that sits on top of that to get this basically cooled down to a reasonable level. And then we'll have to figure out a way to actually cool this thing later once I figure out a ridiculous amount of power generation. Otherwise, the whole base will eventually heat up just due to this cool steam vent, which I'm not real thrilled about, if I'm being completely real with you. So, anyway, one step at a time. Figure out how to make this thing into an actual ranchable aquatic grooming station thing. And once we sort that bit out, we'll get a little bit of a food source rolling here besides that stuff, then worry about that and move on from there. That's kind of generally the plan. Also, we're going to have to incessantly mop this place for a while. So, the plan with this other planet over here. Hold on, let me pick a research. I just got the atmosphere checkpoint, which is really nice. I need to get metal refinery. That's nice. What is this? Oh, whoa, you can get glass back walls. That's awesome. So now you can like actually see space. So there's some rubber tiles for an anti-slip surface. I do need to get this thermo aqua tuner, but I don't have the power generation with which to deal with that at the moment. So what I'm going to try to do is get some better smelting going, because I'm going to need that to do literally anything else. That's just how it is. So we'll start there. And once we get the better refining, we can go down into this area here to get all the oil, which will set this place up with a better form of power generation that I can use to basically keep this base running, and then teleport some petroleum through this, well, not through that one, through the other one that looks like that. I don't know where it is quite yet, actually. If I find it on this rock somewhere, you would put the petroleum through there, it would come out on this planet here. And then I would just build basically a power station way up here at the very top of the base. And I do have reasons for that as well, but it's mostly due to carbon dioxide. That would give us like an emergency backup power system that will only turn on when the base is out of power, meaning these things aren't keeping up. So that's the plan anyway, but I only have 2 of those running right now, and they run intermittently. So, yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. It should be fine. So let me go over here real quick. I want to make sure the stream isn't dropping 4,000 frames. It is not. We are good to go. Nice stuff. Okay. So, where are the duplicates at with getting this thing built? I need to figure out what 96 tiles is. So, I'm going to leave the bottom alone. But if I did that, that'd be 100 tiles right there. So this by itself is going to be too big. So I should make several flat versions of this, is what you're saying. So let me get rid of this. Because I don't really want that there anymore. I can get rid of that. And I can also get rid of this pipe. Let's get rid of that thing. Go over here and check a blueprint real quick. I needed... What was it that I lost? I lost a farmer. And I need a guy who builds stuff. I do not... A Wiredo... I'm telling you, man. It's a bad call to get this kind of duplicate on this planet. I'm just going to grab these Murphy seeds. Oh, look at him swim. So. There we go. We're going to get rid of all that for me. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to try to do is make this long and thin. So we're going to actually move these down once. And then make it all flat over there. I'm going to try to leave that one alone so they can actually stay alive with it for now. So, we're going to put that one there. And then that's going to be like the bottom floor, so to speak. So then I can use the entire bottom of this. Unlike a regular ranch, I can use the entire bottom floor as a specific growth bed. Like, if you see this one up here, you always have this spot on the side that you can't grow anything on because you always have to have stations there. Especially with ranching stations. So this is neat because it allows me to put the ranching station just up here in the water somewhere if I have to. Which is cool. So I think what I'm going to try to do is put it just above this. And this needs 2 blocks, I'm assuming. So also I want that seed. So if I get both of these built, and 96 is the maximum possible size, then I need 2, there's my 2 blocks. I think I need 3 more to be above it. So I need to figure out what 96 divided by 5 is, which would be 15, basically, right? So to right there is where the entire thing would be. It's like if I did this, not that. Is it right there? It'd be 19, not 15. I did the math wrong. So, because that would give me 95, not quite 100. So that would be just about as big as you could make this, and it'd still work properly. Right. There might be a better way to do that, but that's what we're going to do right now. So, can I deconstruct that, please? Thank you. And that means I need to do this. So we're just going to trash all that. Such that I can build a door there. So then stations here is what I'm going to put in there is this aquatic grooming station. Sorry if I popped the mic right there. Didn't mean to do that. And this thing is only 2 blocks tall. 3 blocks. It is in fact 3 blocks tall. So why can't I put it here? Is it because of... It must be because of this thing. Let me see what that was again here. Excuse me? Stations? There we go. Yeah, I can't... Why can't I put it here? But not... It's gotta be because of that or something. I don't understand why it would be anything else. Yo, can somebody go break that real quick? Excuse me? Oh, they can't get there. Thank you, sir. Okay, there's my second one. I'm just going to make these large priorities. I want to make sure that I can actually build this thing. So then the stations... See, this one won't... I can't put it anywhere. Does it have to have like a back wall? Oh, it has to have back wall tiles. It's stuck to the wall. Man, that was really not clear. Alright, so let me just go ahead and make some of those. But I don't know how I'm going to make back wall tiles. I guess you just make it with drywall. And holy smokes. They gave me a lot of blueprints for that. I mean, I had some of these before. That's crazy. I mean, alright. I'm down for that. A half wave. Sandbar and just beachy. Oh, you could make like actual dioramas and stuff with it. Okay, I got you. So we'll just use the aqua bubbles for now. And I'll put them like that. I don't know how many there actually need to be, but we'll do it like that. So then station. I still can't put it there. I'm assuming I gotta let those get built first, which is a little bit annoying. And I don't want to build those out of that material. I want to build them out of this stuff, which I might need later, but we'll figure that out. There's a lot that I needed to understand about this game yet. Did they change it so where you can actually use the... They added a fish pickup. I imagine that this doesn't work because you have to flood the thing. Wait, why did you think You thought I was PewDiePie? That is high praise for this channel, you know that? You just pop in here and we're like, oh yeah, he's streaming something. And then we're completely blindsided by a guy who's not him. Is that what you thought? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh, I'll leave him. Whatever. Who cares? So I do not need this. Ooh. Ooh, yes, sir. I want that immediately. So the problem is this game seems to have, at least in this kind of save, has a bit of a slow cycle. And these dudes, I still haven't figured out why they're eating my pearls. Because they make slime if they eat my pearl, but they don't eat a whole lot of the pearl. Because this thing makes, like, I don't know, a lot of pearl every time you harvest it. Because it puts 6.3 kilograms out and uses sand to make the pearl. But it takes... Let's get into the math here real quick. 8 cycles for it to do that. So, this guy down here, so every cycle, let me just do it like that. Every cycle that thing makes 50 kilograms of pearl. So, 6.3 kilograms of pearl per cycle. So, if we get in here like this, that thing needs 3,125. So, it was 6.2 kilograms? Or 6.3. So, that would be 6.3 times 1,000. Would give me 6,300 grams a cycle. And this needs 3,125. So, it's just over. 2 of these guys can survive on 1 of these clampums here. So that's decent. And you get 12 kilograms of slime. So for 1 clampum, you could essentially get 24 kilograms of slime per cycle. As well as the ability to milk them for whatever this stuff is. Which you can make brack wax out of. Okay, so they're essentially the cow of this update. Go figure. Alright. Oh, but you get caviar, which is a food source. Oh, but it just boosts morale. It's not an edible food. I don't think. It's like a side dish. So, I don't really have a reason to go for that. Besides, I don't really have a reason to go for these dudes at all right now. I feel like they're more of like, once you get set up kind of thing. What I need are these dudes, which give me the phosphorite into lime, and then that stuff also in lime. But I need to find a way to get more phosphorite. Phosphorite has always been an issue in this game unless you got Drecos. And if you can get Drecos, is the stream lagging? No. YouTube's full of it. It was for a second. But, alright. Anyway, I need to figure out a way to get the phosphorite. And I don't think there's a way to do that, is there? If I go click this button. How do you make this stuff? This is what consumes it. Like, you see how much stuff consumes this thing. You could use Bamas to get it. It's not very effective, though, because the Bamas need the stuff for them to actually survive. And it's a very slow cycle. Where I can feed these dudes that stuff to basically that Starnicle and get a bunch of phosphorite, which works. But is that stuff renewable? Because if it is, I'll totally just make a whole bunch of Starnicles and off we go. We get a whole bunch of phosphorite. Alternatively, I would just do the old Bomb-Bladed Draco cycle, or maybe even the Pinch of Peppernut Draco cycle to get the phosphorite that you need. Because this one, you benefit food. This one, you benefit no labor. So, it's a little bit of a trade-off. I can also grow mealwood, have those guys eat it, and make the phosphorite, because I'm going to need to get the mealwood anyway. So, but the problem is I don't have these dudes anywhere. So let me check this out. The Starnicle here just needs this stuff, and that's literally it. And it gets eaten. It's basically a plant that gets eaten by that beacon fish there. So, if that is a fish. This stuff comes, you can put it in the rock crusher and all that, but it seems to be a limited resource. It's the calcified remains of aquatic invertebrates. So there's not a way to get more of that stuff. Is there? I mean, besides just mining it out of here, like where there's like an abundance of it. But I don't think there's like a fossil or something that I don't think there's like a fossil or something that I can use to get that. And that right there, that is great news. I didn't know that I was going to be able to get mealwood on this planet. I think I need to explore farther out. Because there seem to be more resources on this planet than I'm looking at the moment. What about that turtle method? Does one of you guys want to build something? Are you for real? You're a good guy for ranching, though. I'm going to send you to the other planet. Pick a name. You get to name this person. You're the only one in the stream right now. So, I'll let you come up with one for that guy there, and whatever you name him, we'll print him out like that. What are these things? These are sloggos. But then this... No, he's good. Sloggos. And how many of you can fit in here? How much space do you need? Salt. So they give me lime. 12 cells. So there could be exactly one dude in there. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. No, 16 times 3. So there could be whatever 16 times 3 is divided by 12. 4. So there could be a total of 4 dudes in there. Ever. Okay, that's a 7. This is also 7. There could be a maximum of 4 of those dudes. There we go. Alright, well that dude's gonna get named Tolkien then. So be it. Looks like a Tolkien anyway, doesn't he? It's Tolkien. Is it Tolkien or Tolkien? Either way, that's what we're doing it. Tolkien. We're gonna give him a... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Come on. Oh, what is that? No, we're not gonna do him that dirty. He looks pretty sharp in the nautical outfit there. I won't lie to you. I think I'm gonna put him in there. But he's not even gonna live on this planet. That don't make sense. He's gonna live on the super hot planet where there's like loads of stuff. Well, he's gonna be a rancher. He looks good in that. So we'll put him in there. And put Tolkien Where's he going? Token. Get in there. I'm sorry if your dude dies, by the way. We have, Esmeralda here has already suffered a poor fate because she literally died like 2 seconds before I got food. So, you know, that was unfortunate. But I'm hoping that's the only one while we're out here. So anyway, you're going to do your... You are going to do your job as a rancher. Because I don't have one of those on this planet yet. Which means I can't even give you a hat. You just got to deal with that. Also, what's up with... Oh, you got to teach him how to basic swim. Oh, I know. This game is incredible. With, like, how diverse all the stuff is in the actual game itself. It's actually pretty nuts how many different ways there are to play this game. And that's really why I like it so much. By the way, does this place have food still? It does, but I should probably start setting up a farm. So, where's the hot zones? Okay, so that right there is going to be my farm. We're going to do it like this. And I don't know what's up with that. But here we go. Perfect. Actually, can you cancel that real quick for me? I need to go here and get this bit. Stations, please. Give me a nice farm station. There you go. And that tile. That's just in case hydrogen gets in there, which it kind of is up there. So I need to go down here and put one of these in. Just so that it kind of cleans it out, and if disease gets in here, it doesn't immediately kill everybody. And we can handle that. Now, the bit that I'm going to have a bit of an issue with is what am I going to grow here? I'm thinking about these bog buckets. Don't bog buckets require a water, though? Yes, they're out. I don't have a source of water on this planet yet. I could grow mealwood here. I have a lot of dirt on this planet for a while. Yes, it's not a terrible amount, but I'll get polluted dirt, and I can get more polluted dirt out of the Peikus if needed, but I would lose polluted dirt in the Peiku farm. Unless, that's something I haven't thought about yet. What if I built this farm, so it can be harvested for nori, which is great, because you can feed the nori to the turtle thing. But this gives me polluted... I need to put polluted water and polluted dirt into this thing every cycle to get a tiny amount of this stuff. So, that's crazy. Is that even worth it? Oh, let me get a notes page pulled up here. So, that takes 30 kilogram of polluted water a cycle. Okay. That also takes 40 kilogram of polluted dirt a cycle. Now, what does this thing do? So take me there. Right? So this is just basically a gnat. It doesn't really do anything except make this stuff. It's edible. So that's a food farm, and I can use it to make sushi in the sushi bar. And that thing is what I'm talking about. So for 20 of those, how much bit does this make? 10. So I need 2 of those dudes to even get that to work. But then this turtle thing here will eat 2 of those and give me 50 kilograms of dirt per cycle. How many of these? So that's thin. The ore haul here. That's such a thin margin. I've only got like 10 kilograms profit out of that. So, which I suppose isn't that terrible. But ore haul makes 40 kilogram dirt. Sorry, 50 kilograms dirt per cycle. So then the question is, yeah, and I thought about just letting it grow like this and being done with it and just, you know, letting them do their thing down in there, but I don't really want to play like that. I've tried that before, and it's kind of a bad way to play, if I'm being completely real with you. Also, hold on a second. Oh, never mind. It's coming back. The stream was eating it there for a hot second. And I need to make sure that my head isn't getting cut off, which it currently is. Let me drop my chair like an inch. Oh, that's as long as it goes. Oops. Fine, we'll adjust the camera up a little bit. That way my head's not getting chopped off. Perfect. Good stuff. So, the turtles will eat those things directly. And I'm pretty sure, does each one of these need this? Or is it just the bottom one? It's just the bottom one. Okay, so let me check this tower kelp again here real quick. I think it gets really tall. So if you have one of those planted, just one of them, then it gives you a tower that takes a long time to grow. Kind of like an overgrow seed did in the last update. So I think you only feed the bottom one, regardless how tall the thing gets. That means... I'm assuming that this is going to be a very good farm if I set it up like that. But I need to figure out a way to get a reliable source of polluted water, which the only bit that I have access to right now is from the duplicants quite literally using the toilet. So I think what I'm going to try to do is see if I can get duplicants to produce enough fluids to feed one of those things. And we shall build a tank like right here somewhere to make that happen. So I'll basically get rid of this and wrangle that dude. Mop all this bit up. And take this all the way to the top, and we'll make a really long and thin column here that this thing will prioritize filling. Such that, does this stuff have to grow in that kind of water? Polluted waters. Oh, no, I don't care. So we could just poke a hole in that right there and then flood this and we'd be just fine. Good stuff. So let me just do that here real quick. Now, I want to make sure that I can actually ranch this thing. So it needs to be 96 tiles regardless how tall it is. So I need to do 96 tiles. So it's 17 blocks tall. So whatever 96 divided by 17 is how wide I'm going to make it. 96 divided by 17 is 5.6. So we're going to do just 5. And then 5 times 17 gives me 85 tiles. So that is well within the range of that. Then we can just do this. Good stuff. Okay. And for now, I'm just going to have them build some very temporary ladder bits here. Just so they can actually get out of there and not die. Because I know how these dudes work. Eventually I'm going to get rid of those once I flood this thing. And I do need them to prioritize building those. Oop. Nope, not those. Those go away. We need to build this first. And also this. If I don't build that stuff first, we're going to get screwed. Yeah, so the turtles eat nori. And we're going to... I'm pretty sure... What happens if I just chuck a turtle in there? Like... that's a phrase for the record books right there. What happens if I just throw a turtle in one of these and just let it go nuts? Yeah, like you. What if I just throw you in there? So... Oh, dude, that's awesome. You know that? Okay, so I can get to that turtle. And we're going to throw that thing in there. Oh, by the way, how's this planet doing? Are they dead? They don't look dead. They're still building that farm, which they're taking their sweet time with. Do I have sand on this planet? I can start something up if I do. I have no sand on this planet. That sucks. So we're gonna have to get pretty lucky. You could. I never thought to just use the clay to feed hatches directly like that. I used to feed hatches polluted dirt, but not directly out of devices like that. Because you end up with more clay than you ever know what to do with. So, like, why not? On this planet, you totally could make that happen. But for now, I want the clay anyway because I want the ceramic. I use ceramic from time to time as like an insulating thing. It's kind of a mid-tier step when you don't have real good insulating pipes. You can use them on like the glass forge and whatnot, and sometimes it helps you out a little bit. So we'll take care of it like that. But as soon as they get this built, so this is now safe, and I can tell them to prioritize these. And as soon as they get this first little bit down here at the bottom built, I'm actually going to tell them not to dig out those two. Or to build this one. Because I want... Oh, wait a minute. No. Bad. I need you to build that first. Be a good man. Otherwise, all the water's going to go out there, and I'm going to have to waste a lot of electricity to get it back in there. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're trying to make this work. Yeah, clay's crazy. And it's one of the easiest things to get in the game. And you think they would have added like bricks or something that you could make something out of it, but they don't. So clay is just kind of a worthless material once you get enough ceramic that you don't really need much more of it. And in a way, it's kind of nice to have a worthless material, so to speak. Alright, now you can pick a hole in that. Go nuts. That guy's got a swimsuit too, so he don't care if he gets wet. Boom. Alright, now somebody grab this turtle. Oh, I have screwed up. I have screwed up. We're gonna have to go underneath of that. And there's no way for me to get over there. Because we need to build this underneath it. What do you plant those things in? What do you put them in? I have no idea what you plant those things in. Here's what we're going to do to figure that out. Put a hydroponic tile somewhere. I don't care. Just put it right there. Perfect. Check it out. Nah, we're good. Oh, wait a minute. This guy is dumb. Oh, man. You really aren't going to do this to me, are you? You're going to go up that ladder, right? Okay, that's fine. I've been through that ringer before. Many a times have they poked a hole where they're not supposed to poke a hole, and it floods the entire base. So... what's up with this, like, this bit here? Oh, that's where the lady was. The first duplicate. By the way, what happened to her? She just disappeared. Oh, good, good. Alright, now block that off. Quickly! Woo! This might cause me some problems, but that's okay, because it'll get filtered out and go back into my clean water tank, which doesn't exist yet. I probably should build a clean water tank somewhere. I thought about making that this one, and just dual purposing it, but that's a bad call, I think. So... I'm gonna figure out another place to... Ooh, I should put water on that so I can get power out of it. Luckily, I have loads of stuff. And I eat sushi rolls, so that one. So, oh, there's a bunch of turtles over there. And see, they're making polluted dirt and whatnot. And these things do grow on every single limb. Okay, that's the plan. We're just going to load that thing up. Did you see that guy way on his arm? Dude, you can swim. It's taking right to the bottom. Alright, let's go ahead and get some rocketry going here. Why not? Excuse me. By the way, just for anybody that doesn't happen to know, the reason I'm using airflow tiles on every single water tank is there's this thing that's been in the game for a long time now, where you can basically use these things as impenetrable walls for water pressure due to how, like, the game mechanics actually work. So I constantly make the tanks out of these things so that you don't have to worry about, like, the tanks ever rupturing. Otherwise, you end up with a total nightmare, and it sucks. There's no way around it. So let me get the stations going on here, and I'm going to put this thing in there. Do I have an aquatic shearing station somewhere? Do I got to research that? No? I thought I got it automatically. Where's it at in there? It's a rancher. Well, where is it? Am I blind? And I don't have the materials. Right. I will fix that problem. Whoosh. Okay, give me that. Get rid of this. Perfect. They'll sort that out as we go about it. So I need to move that turtle still. Come here, buddy. You're going up into there. I've already got a beacon in there, which I don't think that thing is supposed to be in there. You're not part of my loop for that. You need to go over here. What do you mean farm plot is inoperable? No liquid intake. What? Salt water, 20 kilograms a cycle. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Well, that's required, but a problem. Because, again, I don't exactly have a great water source. I do have a water geyser down here, which is nice, but I'll need to cool it because it comes out of there at, like, scalding hot temperatures. And we also have another geyser right there. I know that there's, like, a way that... What is that stuff? Lead and sulfur. Oh, so you get sulfur out of that. Nice. But it's just a raw metal. And it's literally lead sulfide. Okay, got you. Now, I know that you can just use the high priority trick like this and put it on the geyser and it tells you what it is. You can click the corner. I'm going to not do that for this save. Just because I like the idea of having to actually get over there to see what it is first. But if it comes back around to really bite me, like I open a volcano or something and it just melts the entire base. Wait, you have to pump in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but the thing is I don't want to pump it in from their environment because I want to leave this water where it is such that I can farm in here. I don't want this running out of water, so I want to get the water from somewhere I don't care about, like this giant thing over here. For now, until I can get all the salt water and then just dump it into this chasm, because I've just decided this is probably going to be where all the salt water comes from. Oh, that's a lot of fish. And none of these people can build, so open that door. Somebody open that door. Oh, this needs to be polluted water. So it actually needs to prioritize, which I'm just going to do with the oldest trick in the book. It needs to prioritize doing that. And just to make sure that actually functions properly, we're going to do this. Such that I can feed the water to these dudes. That way the polluted water gets prioritized for the crop that's growing in here with this one warhol that's very hungry at the moment. Because I've ripped it out of its natural habitat and did not give it any food. So, this needs to be just salt water? No, polluted water. Polluted water. This is going to be a problem because there's now loads of salt water in here. So I'm assuming that if it's in there, it's probably going to be salt water, and I'm just going to do this. We're going to be that lazy about it. Like, just womp, womp. Get rid of that. Then we'll just mine all that out, put this ladder there, and we'll be good to go. Yeah, it's a weird system that I'm going to try to make. I like to build things sustainably from the start if I can, so I don't have to redesign it later, which costs me a lot in this game, because I don't use the resources that are readily available quite often. So, you know. Also, what am I supposed to do if this thing gets flooded? I don't know how that's going to work. And do I have to manually harvest all these things, or are they eventually just kind of pop off by themselves? Because I really don't know how that works. Also, I just realized that some of the duplicants might not be able to swim, because I haven't taught them how to swim. Oh, that's a problem. Because the ranching person... Who's my rancher? Do I not have a rancher? Did my rancher die? No. Kai here's my rancher, but Kai can swim, right? Yeah, Kai's a great swimmer. Okay, whatever. So it's actually a really good call that I got the rancher that already knows how to swim, like, maxed out, because that means I basically don't have to worry about stress on that guy literally ever. That's cool. So this guy finally got over here. He's going to get over there and mess with all this stuff. The reason I'm doing this is I forgot that I need to rip this floor out. You could drown a pip? Hold on a minute. I mean, we have a real easy you see what I'm thinking here, right? Like, oh man, that's rich. But I really wish they would build this so that I could see if I needed to plant. I'm pretty sure that thing's skinny enough that I could plant that in just one of these. Also, I really need to get a grave so I can plant Esmeralda somewhere. But I don't know where that's going to be yet. And I don't want to waste the space because I like leaving the graves. You don't think the water... Really? You think they crawl around on the walls despite the fact that there's water in there? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, if I'm being honest with you. No, don't kill them. Wrangle them. That guy just died right in front of me. And the new one was born immediately. Interesting. So these dudes I'm very familiar with. They're a sand farm. Because as long as you feed them polluted dirt... Oh, wait a minute. Because then I need sand to feed the clams? Yes. So now we have a pearl farm. And the pearl farm feeds these dudes, which gives me slime. Which then I can turn into dirt if I cook it. But I can also squeeze it with this plant pulverizer and a phyto oil and dirt. And turn it into algae with this algae distiller, which is interesting because I can feed picus with that. And yeah, I can feed picus with that. So let's go with that plan for now. And I get polluted water out of that, which allows me to actually feed the kelp thing such that... Give me a minute. I know that something eats this. Let me make sure. Yeah, right there. It eats this. So then I could get polluted dirt out of it to also feed the kelp thing. And the kelp thing would feed this turtle, which would... Excuse me. Oh, there it is. Which would allow me to get raw shellfish, which I could eat, and polluted mud, which then I could turn into polluted dirt with the sludge press, which then I could feed back to... This is the whole cycle. Everything in this place is one giant cycle. So... Boy, that is going to take a lot of work. So what I'm going to do at first, I'm just going to start off with this guy and get it going. And I know that it's not going to be very effective. I'm not worried about that. I just want to see how that works. And then this over here, but these guys aren't part of that loop. What's up with you? You're a phosphorite loop. So you are the temporary plant. So you serve no purpose to me. Long haul. Other than getting lime. So I could trade this stuff for lime, is essentially what you're telling me here. Right. So this is literally a complicated fossil, is what you're telling me. So these beacon dudes don't really help me all that much at the moment. The beacons are kind of dumb. I don't know where I'm going to put this yet. I don't even need it. Go ahead and get that going. The good news is we do have the table going. Nobody's super stressed out. So, man, it's been a long time since I've used the algae loop for pretty much anything. Last time I did that, there was an entire planet of slime. And it was like a whole one of these dudes was nothing but slime. And I used that to like get oxygen and whatnot. Then made a puffed farm that you could loop that with to get more oxygen. So it was like a really poor man oxygen farm. But this is going to be a major issue. I'm going to tell them to prioritize the construction of these. Because that's going to be a major issue if I'm not careful. I'm not going to P-rush, which is where I call P-rushing when you do one of these numbers right here. That thing, that's P-rushing. We're not going to do that because it screws up the cycles of everybody in this place. But we are going to put it on priority 9 so that if they have something that isn't part of their main job, they will switch to doing this. Okay. And I want to get this out of there before it gets out of hand, because if you look, the base is already getting flooded with this. Oh. Right, the hydrogen's supposed to be there. And I need to get rid of this stuff, like, as soon as possible. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder for them to get up there to reach that. I didn't realize that you only needed that little bit of water for that thing to grow. It's kind of pretty like that. Okay. Make that. And you turn some of... Do I have iron already? I do. I need 400 of them. Do 9 of those. It's probably not going to quite make it. And it'll get me just over it, actually. Oh, wait. What about the bloaters, though? So what's up with the bloaters? If I grab this bloater, right, and I look at it, it eats water weeds and makes oxygen straight up. And it also drops 1,000 food, which is great. And you can turn them into rust later if I get a jawbow. So, how do I want to do that? What does this take? Salt water, lettuce. Okay, why would I ever do this? Is there a benefit to that at all? Because the way it stands right now, unless I planted these things wild and then let them just grow so I didn't have to feed them the salt water, I would literally just convert the salt water into regular water and put it into this thing like I'm doing right now. And there must be some benefit to that, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. I still want them to build that first, though. Except I don't have a power cable anywhere to that. That was an expensive endeavor. Also, can we get this bit constructed? Like, so that way we can actually do something with it. Yeah, I don't get the whole bloater deal. Why you would ever need those. Especially when you could just pot these down. You You need a little bit of lime, but I'm going to be able to farm lime. So I guess that's really the only reason that you would need these dudes is to get the lime. But if I was going to do that, I'm already going to get lime from the poke shells, which should be enough that I could run that. Like, right there's a poke shell, for example. Like, what would I do with it otherwise? It's kind of weird. So we're going to move that thing, and we're literally just going to throw it off into the abyss right here. It'll do something eventually. Actually, no, I got a better idea for you. You're going to go into that hole. And there's not really a reason for the duplicate to have to go all the way down in there, so we're just starting like that. Yeah, and the thing is can you farm coralum? Like this bit here? Because I don't think you can farm that stuff. The only place it comes from is if you mine it up. It's not like a real permanent solution. But you do get a lot of sand out of it, so that's nice. So, like, I'm noticing a distinctive lack of that loop. I don't think that loop is possible. Unless this stuff has something to do with it. Okay. I could put it into the microbe musher to get mush bars. So this is essentially a way to make Peku treats. I don't really know. What is this? Excreting obsidian? It can be crushed into gold amalgam. What in the world? Okay, that's cool that you can actually get obsidian renewably now. But the problem is where do you go get all this sulfur from, pal? Unless you get a sulfur geyser somewhere. Which I happen to have, but I also need the sulfur in order to get this rubber. Somewhere in here, there's got to be a way to get sulfur. And that stuff makes plastic. I haven't even seen those yet. Well, that's an issue. So we're gonna need to go to actually find the liquid sulfur, because I know there's a liquid sulfur geyser on this planet somewhere. Right there it is, liquid sulfur geyser, and that's how you get that's how you get sulfur. And that thing cranks out way more than what you ever need if you're not using it for a whole lot. So what I'm gonna try to do is use that. Perhaps, I don't think it's gonna be there. Normally it's down in here somewhere if you're gonna be on a planet like this. Oh, that's cool. There's an anti-entropy thermonullifier on this planet. Which means if I use the hydrogen from my air system, assuming I can find water on this thing somewhere, which I doubt, then I could use the hydrogen off of it to cool the entire airspace in the base. But I could not use it to cool this stuff. There's way too much heat. Like, there's an insane amount of heat that comes out of this crude oil area right here. It's just going to always be like 160 to 190 degrees Fahrenheit in there. So, scalding hot, basically. So the good news is that that is space. So what I could do is go ahead and set up like a space hub. Which way do I want to go? The space has a lot. I'm going to go this way for space. Just making a hard call right there. That's probably enough. How many are there? 9. Perfect. Then just seal that off. Which side does the... Ooh. I need to move the whole thing over one spot. Perfect. And then that is staying there, so I'm assuming it's not leaking stuff. So we're good. And then I can just use this as like the top of the base. Now that's going to cause a problem if I poke a hole in that bit, so we're just going to not do like a couple of the tiles there. And you see, I thought about that, and I've always do that. I always send water through the teleporter to get that to happen. But it's just, I kind of wanted to see if I could ever get this planet. I had one time, I had a saltwater geyser on this planet, and it made my life so much easier. But, you know, I gotta deal with that. But I do need to get these guys a food source sometime in the nearest future. So I'm gonna let them clean everything up. And we're going to hook this up to the tank that I dump everything in that's bad water. So let me just do this. Wait a minute. No, that is the bad water. There we go. And it just goes in there. So this is the good water that it comes out of it. That's the bad water, so then we could have good stuff in there like that. Perfect. We'll do that. Let him eat on that for a while. That'll kind of give him something to do. If you can't tell, I'm not super concerned about this planet until I can figure out how to get enough of reed fiber to make it worth my effort. But I will tell these guys to make a rock crusher that I'm just going to put... that's going to be where the CO2 thing is. I need a hot zone, so we're going to put it over here. There we go. Beautiful. In it goes. Do I have fire poles? Yes. Time to build a bunch of fire poles. And then by a bunch, I mean a lot. It's a very expensive thing to make, those fire poles, but they're so worth it. I mean, so worth it. Okay. Get rid of that. Why is my deconstruct button doing nothing? Okay, whatever. Cancel this because I want to see. Yes, you plant the tower kelp on these ones. So we'll just deconstruct that now. Now that we know that. And we'll go ahead and run this stuff down into it like this. Except for this one. Cool. Got the polymer press going on. There's no research focus. I'm just going to get the better battery, just so we have it. I didn't mean to priority 9 this. Did they make that? Okay, let me build something on priority 5 here real quick. Get rid of this if you would. How about we just set that to 9? And I just want to make sure that I actually put this in there. Nope. There we go. Cool. So I know I have a couple more of these dudes. I'm just going to let them live their peace down there. We are going to go ahead up here and tell them to permanently turn eggshells and poker shells into lime. But not corallium. Yet. I don't have like cool blueprints for those. Yeah, here's what it is. I'm going to go ahead and turn the second one of those on as well as the backup one. And tell them to build this. Perfect. So I also want to start figuring out what these are so I can find the next planet. So once we get up there, we'll set that up. Pump blocked is what that means. They added an icon for when the pump is blocked. And I actually don't really like that. Beautiful. But like I said, I don't care about this stuff right now. Eventually I'll make a tank, but I just want it to go away right now. So we're going to just have this thing scoop it all up. Now, I don't have any way to make the automation for that right now, but I'm hoping that eventually I will. So, this guy needs to be a priority 7. Can I get a critter pickup and a critter drop that don't care if they're flooded? Is that something I could do? Stations is where it would be probably. Maybe not. Maybe it's some food. Because is that a fish? Are you a fish? Do I put you in? I don't know. Are you a fish? Yes, you quite, in fact, are a fish. So, fish release is probably actually not going to get used as much as the fish pickup. Okay. He looks sad because, you know, I would be too if I was that hungry. Okay. I will take that. Unless that guy builds. He sucks at digging, but that's okay. I need a guy who can build. Alright, Stinky. Who's the other guy in chat? Yeah, the oily swamp asteroid, you constantly run out of water. It's the only way to go about it. Yeah, and you don't get enough, though. You don't get enough water from the generators to make that happen. This dude's name is Stinky, wasn't he? Yeah. We're going to call him Carl. Don't know why, don't ask. This is Carl. And Carl, you're actually going to live here, so I totally forgot that I need to give you, like, a watery suit. Alright, Carl. You need a yellow swim. There you go. Carl, your job is to build stuff. And build stuff only. With a minor towards digging. That planet's getting hit by asteroids. It's just the snowy ones, though. We're totally fine. They're doing all right. They're getting through their business. We have no filtration medium with which to put in that thing, so it's totally a waste. But we'll sort that out later. Once I start getting clay, we can turn that into ceramic and use that to get sand. That's what I'll do with all the ceramic. So that works. Problem solved. Now, what the question here is that a seed? You tell me the seed just looks like a small version of that. I don't know what else I expected, to be completely honest with you. What is glassy? It says I need glassy to... What is glassy? Oh. Diamond, glass, amber, or a pearl. So you can build it from anything in that category. I didn't realize that they made like a thing for that. Got you. That's actually extraordinarily useful that they allow you to make it out of a bunch of stuff now. In like a category. Okay, that thing is overloading big time, but it shouldn't be. Disconnect it from there. There we go. Now I can't do that anymore. The only problem is that never mind. We're going to have to wiggle this all the way down in there. So we'll just get rid of that. Don't need it anymore. That kind of deal. We'll just put that there. Perfect. Now, research needs to be done. We're going to go ahead and do that one. And I can't make it to that, so we'll do that instead. Salty sticks are actually coming up pretty good. So, this... What was I going to put in here with these dudes? So they make oxygen. That's really it. I had a reason to put something in here. I think I was going to put like bloaters and these dudes in there, right? Yeah. So I don't really have a major reason to do this right now until I can get water. And I still don't know why you would do that. Unless it makes like a colder form of oxygen than what you could get out of the oxidizer, but you're still going to have the scalding hot water from the saltwater geyser. I'm failing to see something in that loop right there. Like, this bit makes sense because it's like a natural thing that, you know, it exists. But maybe this is just like a passive way. Oh, he fertilized it. Oh. Well, that's a problem. Well then, I'm going to have to completely change the design of this farm. We will sort that out later. Right now, I'm going to go... I just saw a man scrubbing a turtle. Anyway, ore halls. I don't know how many you need. How much space do you need? 12. So, ooh, but it's just the water. So it's 16 times 5 divided by 12. 16 times 5 divided by 12. There's 6 of them in there at any point in time. You, maximum of 6 critters, priority 7. Same with you. Except you include the baby ones. Very nice. Now I need to get in here and actually put the hydroponic farm tile in there. And I'm pretty sure I can't do that one. How's the swampy asteroid doing? Besides making a mess. Nobody cleaning my toilet. So at least we got this going on. Now, unfortunately, we don't have anywhere to put the clean water yet. I do need to sort that out. But I really need to know what that is before I do it. So I think what I'm going to do is go around the back way. I want to make sure that this thing isn't going to melt like everything I own. So we're just going to go over top of this. It's fine if we poke a hole in that now because it has somewhere to go and it's going to get sorted anyway. So just go ahead and add some ladders right there. But I don't want them digging that. I want it to go straight down into that before they do that. It would be a shame to get rid of all these naturally growing spindly grub fruit. Or grub fruit. So I'm not going to do that. Instead what I'm going to do is put a door right there. And we'll have them go a little bit higher. Then I'm going to grab these dudes and put them next to that stuff. So I'll just have a door that goes right there. And then when I build this ladder, we'll grab them. Now, once we get over there, we'll poke a hole in that a wee little bit. We'll see how that goes for me. Natural edible. Hey, man, I don't blame you. That's free food right there. The reason I want this, though, is that this is a free form of sucrose. Like, totally free. So as long as it has oxygen in it, we're good. I am going to put something underneath the doors, though. Okay, that should go fast enough that they can get rid of that. Looks like it. Beautiful. Get rid of the rest of the water so that it doesn't end up over there. And we should be fine. Now, I am going to do this. Just in case. Gotta just sneaking suspicion. I just want to reserve the space for that. I'm just kind of researching stuff just to get it done at this point. Okay, so look it over there. Oh, there we go. I don't have any tower kelp. How is there another one in there? You. Up there. I'm stealing this. Man, that guy was happy. Too bad he's about to live his life in a very small hole. Okay, I like how they just put that thing in a giant Walmart bag and they're like, you're coming with me. It's like, I just went to Costco and you're going in that bag. Oh man, that's rich. All right. Can you guys like actually go get this though? In fact, I just want you to scoop that up. It'd be great if you would. Look at him go, zooming. And perfect. Now I have a seed that I can put into there and get more of. Very nice. Was that guy just chilling out as that water? Like, what was that music video? Was it Michael Jackson was the one who had the music video where he laid back in the chair and he pulled the chain and it dumped all the water on him? You remember that? Who was that? It was... Hold on. Let me look that up. The wet chair. Yeah, who was that? I don't remember who that was. I think it's been redone too many times. I don't know. It don't matter. Oh, it is flooded. No, it works. It's good. We're fine. Nice. Well, now you give me somebody who wants to build stuff, right? Well, you know what? I have learned my lesson. That guy is going to the other planet. Excuse me. You look good in that. That works. What am I going to call you, my good man? We're going to call you, what's that? Mike. We're going to call you Mike. Is it Mike? It's too late now. His name's Mike. Get in the portal, Mike. Get up there. Okay, jobs. Mike. You're going to be a guy who builds stuff. And who's this other one? Hazmat, not needed. Corium. I still haven't figured out what corium even is, but one of these days maybe I'll find it. Okay, you get the new fine dining black hat. That's sharp. So we're not going to bother with the research bits yet. They're a little bit much for that. Oh, you are a rancher now, though. You can actually officially ranch. Good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. Mainly so they can make the electro, or the chips. We're going to need those in some point. Man, we got a long way to go for that one. Oh, and I need to tell Mike here that he's supposed to build stuff. My bad, Mike. You were supposed to go, not get back out of that. Get in there. Hey. No. You go in there. Alright, whatever. He's just gonna have to go learn his new skill before he decides to do that. I always thought it was dumb that they do this, but I guess it kind of makes sense, because you don't want him going through the portal without all the necessary skills, right? Let me just do this before I forget to do it there. Teleport. Why is there just a random mush fry sitting up here? Who brought that up here? Sick. They have nothing to build. They have nothing to... Oh, I was going to say, I was like, you have nothing to work on right now? For real? I do need to send the guy through who can mine through all the abyssalite. I should have done that first. Okay, that's planted, but there's no irrigation for it. Mostly because we're getting rid of all the salt water. So that's fine. We'll get rid of all the salt water. It's going to take some time. Is what it is. Man, those toilets are so ugly. I'm not dealing with those toilets anymore, dude. They're just so ugly. I'm so mad that I got that blueprint, if I'm being honest with you. How is that starfish good to go if it's gross hardened? Alright. Also, can we make this like a legitimate farm? I kind of need them to do that first, though, so we don't melt everything in here. So we're just going to have to do it like that. Come on, in. Oh, I thought that was water. It's somebody's hat. So we're getting a lot of mucin here. Should I just make it to where it just kind of overflows once in a while and just let them live like this? I mean, they're happy, so, I mean, they make eggs, which I can eat, so, and I'm gonna end up with a crazy amount of salt. So, I mean, I've got salt for days right now, but I'm about to have like an indefinite amount of salt as soon as I get this thing going. Which I do need to get down there. I want to see what the core looks like. And what all this is. But I don't really know how I'm going to get there. Oh my goodness. Here's what we're going to do. Fish pick up. Oop. Did they get rid of the fish hook thing? No, they didn't. So why would you ever use this if... Oh, because any duplicate can pick up the fish if it's in the fish trap. But this automates it with the guy, so what else is he going to do right now? I'll let him do exactly that. I still have not been able to make a rubber gasket. The good news is they're starting to do that. We're going to actually start getting some decent amount of food. Does this also take salt? Yes. We are going to need a lot of salt if I'm going to keep growing this, but that's okay. That person's going to die over there. Because, you know, that's how these people roll. Listen, guys, oof, you are a bold one, Anne. I was gonna say that's gonna really smart in there, isn't it? Are you good? You gotta. Okay, look, Anne, you gotta go because you're gonna die in there. Sometimes they can make it to where they kind of cool off, but right now, you need to get over there. And I always set these to priority 9. There's nothing more important than duplicant health. How's the hydrogen situation? It's getting somewhere. Yeah, it's starting to kind of run out of it up there. So I need to have a automation sensor that takes care of that problem. But I don't have that yet either because I don't have any refined metals because nobody is doing this stuff. I'll set that to 7. There we go. I really need to lock this thing up. That's unfortunate. But man, I needed to do this anyway. But it's just unfortunate. Okay. So they're gonna rip all those out. Now I'm actually gonna make a shallow pit right here. The reason being is if water ever comes out of that thing, I want it to condense here. And for that reason, I'm actually gonna put a mechanical airlock right there. Maybe. Plumbing. There we go. That's just a placeholder. I don't exactly need it built at this particular moment. So then the power for this thing needs to go in at the bottom level. This one needs to go in at the top. Such that I can put a pump in right there, which will feed water into there. And this is, I'm going to assume, is probably not water. So I need a trash can line, which is going to be right there. I hate running it through farms like that. I'm going to go up and over. I know that seems like a waste, but you know. Only problem is that's also where this needs to go, so. Looks like I'm building a third layer of those eventually. But for now, we're just going to do this. Because I think this is probably going to be good. Good water, but I don't have anywhere to put that right now, so we'll just leave it like that. With another one of these dudes. Okay. These guys might be dumb. Hey pal, you want to build that tile? Come on. There you go. Now they're not going to die. Ideally. Okay, cool. Now they don't have this issue. This will also leave me a wee little bit of space to put an exosuit dock right there. So that they can actually get in there if they need to. Thank you. He's going to build that immediately so we don't have to worry about him getting stuck over there. And we can just kind of let them go after that point. Should priority 8 this stuff. Reason being is I want them to make sure that that steam geyser is contained. It's really starting to heat up this part of the base, and I ain't cool with that. Heat death is a major concern. So this guy likes a breath of fresh air is the problem. I suppose I could just... Couldn't I just... Like, here or something? Couldn't I just make like a little trough that kind of catches some of the oxygen and the rest just bubbles out? Whereas right over here at the station, I could make a grooming station. And I don't need that, so... yeah. We could just do this. And it would just capture a little bit of the oxygen that came out of this thing, which I still don't have another 4, so that clampum's really slow. We're gonna have to like actually farm those. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and reserve this space for more toilets. Actually, they can get there. So perfect. How are these guys doing? Bored? Yeah, they're very much stuck at the moment. I'm going to build these guys a giant storage facility, so at least they're doing something. We're just going to put it all right there. That way they can at least clean the whole place up while they're waiting around on me to, you know, get to the point they can actually do something about this. How hot is it right there? Pretty toasty. Pretty toasty indeed. I'm thinking about putting it right here, but then I would lose my farm. Hey, pal, you want to get over there too? We got some pacus and some waterweed, which is interesting that exists on this planet, actually. So what I'm going to do, I think that's probably going to flood the way it is. Interesting. Well, we'll sort that out later. This is going to go for everything is standard, and it's just a low priority. So if they're basically run out of stuff to do, they can still do that. Paper shell molt, not the core of them. Because they're going to run out of food. We need to solve that problem. We're just going to go in there. And I'm actually going to go all the way around this thing. There we go. Oh, they can swim. Don't need to build that. Man, them being able to swim is so fantastic. Okay. Put that there. I'm going to probably lose that. I'll leave that waterweed seed. It'll be fine. But I've got to get these guys over here like ASAP. So we're going to actually really prioritize. This is actually what I would consider an emergency situation. As in, they really need to get in there and make that happen. Okay, that'll work for now. I like how you just put over top of the whole thing. He's like, forget building the ladder. Who needs that? Oh, wait a minute. We have duplicates. Glow squid eggs. They eat tubula and excrete abyssalite. They can be milked for squid ink. Well, I don't know about you guys. I want to know what that is immediately. We are going to move that guy to right there. I don't know how long it takes to incubate. It takes... Whew, yikes, that's a 20 cycle egg right there. So, we're going to throw that thing in there and wait a while on that one. Also, the building is flooded, which is a bit awkward. I'm going to get rid of that, and I think I might be able to put one of these things in there and make it work like that instead. I can do that, right? Like if I grab that, can I just... Yeah, why not? Cool. So, let me get some drywall, which I'm going to make it out of something that kind of matches that. I'm going to use the beach one. Cool. See, I still don't understand what I'm going to do with this. I guess I'm going to go farm these beacons in there. And I don't really know how many of them there are. But we'll go ahead and pick that up. And what do you eat? You eat the lettuce and you make lime. Right. We got no irrigation or polluted dirt. I'm gonna need to track polluted dirt for sure. And polluted mud. I need to get that filter press. Refinement. Where's it at? The filter press. The sludge press. That's what it's called. So, put it there. Now the sludge is gonna go out immediately, right? So I can just put it straight up into there. Cool. And then the polluted dirt will be used to feed that bit. Yeah, but those dudes look pretty happy. That's cool. So what I'm gonna do with the... We're gonna put some kelp holes in there as well. And I think I can scoop them up for free out of here. And I can just dump them manually for now into this hole up here where these dudes will eat it. Now, I don't have an aquatic shearing station. I really need it, too. So, it's kind of a problem. Can I get one of these guys to actually do something about that? Like, where does my iron ore at? See, I've got 350 iron. If I could get somebody to do that, then we would be just fine. How are these guys doing? They starving? Yes. Very much so. Which means they are not going to make it. Straight up. So we need to have them make their own food for now, which is not going to be the tastiest stuff in the world. But I'm actually going to put it right there. We're going to get rid of this. You guys got 24 hours to live, is basically what it has, what's happening right now. And somewhere they found sand, which is cool. So get rid of that if you would. Food. Done. Here's what we're going to try. Ooh. Yeah, that one. So then that's going to go into there. We're going to power all that so that we can grab that. Why in the world would I build that when I already have that here? So then that is just going to be their food stuff. And that's the only thing they have to build right now, so they will do it. Now, the job situation. He still has not gotten to the first tier. The second tier, I should say. Which is kind of bonkers, but I need to get a couple mealwood seeds, which is the whole reason I'm going over there. So we need to really prioritize getting that thing cleaned out. Because I want to be able to get into there without having to flood the whole place. Because I want to leave this as it is. As much as possible. Is it worth it to make a kitchen? Like, what's the benefit of making a kitchen? Oh, they've just ruined me. Cancel that. Hold it. Hold that thought. I gotta take care of something real quick. No. Off you go. Okay, now build another one. Yeah, they are starving. Because I thought all you could do was it just enable the spice grinder usage if it was a kitchen. We don't have a cook. Oh, yes, we do. There's 5. Here's priority 6. Make mush fries and pretty much everything else you see on this list, pal. You find any way to make any of that, go for it. This sliced loaf, go for it. I'm not going to do the tofu or pretty much any of these other ones. Do not starve to death on me. I'm going to be big time upset if you just starve on me, alright? I understand that there's like basically no water on this planet either. That is a problem. So we need to make sure that the base has water, at least for now, with the bottle filler. So I'm just going to put the bottle filler... We're actually going to remove some toilets. And just put the toilets down there. I'm going to leave one of them. Oh, I got you. I could probably do that. Plumbing. So, I mean, I can put it in there. It ain't a big deal. Give me a second here. I got bigger fish to fry at the moment than dealing with the spice grinder. So, oh wait, don't cancel that. Just separate it. That's for later. This will take care of business for now. It's not going to be a lot, but it's enough. So, the spice grinder deal. I gotta go in here and get the station. I don't have the spice grinder yet. But unless it's in food. There it is. I'll put it way over there, because I'm probably never going to use it. And I'll put the smoker there. I do want to reserve space for the smoker. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. I don't like that. It's going right over there, going up the ladder. And the reason for that is this is going to be the dump spot. Right there. We're going to cover this entire thing up with this. Cool. Oh, yeah, but the thing is organic plants. I mean, dude, I've played this game a long time. There's just not a whole lot of organic plants going on that I can get to because I don't have the guy that can mine through the abyssalite. So, you know, I need to get over here and let that happen, but there isn't a tremendous amount of food, but I'm trying to actually start up a farm over there. Okay. They should be alright here in just a second. Once I get in here and I steal the one mealwood seed out of there. I need that immediately. And then I need to get inputs enabled. So go over here, enable manual use, and put the mealwood seeds in there. I don't have the seeds yet, but eventually I will. Then we also need to hook up the power to that, so I'm just going to go ahead and run the full-size power line to this thing. Tell them to delete that. Kill that. Got it. There's a critter receptor, or sorry, the critter fluxomatic, which I could use on the slugs, I just realized. For the first time. What happens if I put you in there? What would happen if I did that? No, it's got me kind of curious. What happens if I had to put a fish in there? Does it? I don't think a fish has an adaptation, does it? Do you have an adaptation? No, I'm pretty sure it's just that fish. I wonder what happens if I put it in there. But see, everybody keeps saying my mic is low, and I'm looking at it on like OBS, and it is blowing out the audio on that. It's like, why does everybody keep saying it? If I listen to it, it's blowing my ears out, like constantly. So why does everybody say the mic is so low? Something's up there. Wait, what do you mean by the chicken? So audio is good here. Yeah, see? Nah, stream doesn't have anything to do with it. Nah, man, it is peaked. It peaked out. And the game audio is really quiet comparatively. It's at like a quarter volume. Yeah, see, it's on your end, Godric. I don't know what it is up. You're like the third person to say that. You're the third person to... Hold on a minute. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what the problem was. If it starts doing it again, maybe this microphone's really touchy. If I do this, it gets way quieter. And so if I got to like eat this thing constantly for it to work, it's a condenser based microphone. So it gives you really nice audio. But, you know, yeah, I have issues with it sometimes due to the fact that I'm using a really janky mic arm at the moment. I normally have this really nice mic arm over there. But, there's a reason I'm doing this stream, because I actually have an entirely different thing that I want to be doing right now. But this is a brand new recording setup. To clarify, I talked about this a little bit earlier in the stream. Let me pause this so I don't forget about everybody and they starve to death. I'm running this on two different computers right now. The first is just this one, which is what you see the game running on. And the other one is the one that is specifically running the stream at the moment. And the reason I do that is I have discovered that running a stream off of that computer makes the stream run way better. Not quality-wise, like as in, because I could run the game and stream it off that computer and it would still be 4K quality. The thing's a beast, okay? But for some reason, if I run the stream off of that other computer, my internet does better. And I have no idea why that's a thing, but it does. So I just route the game footage from that computer to the other computer and then use that computer to do all the streaming bits. And the stream is remarkably more stable. It's still not perfect, but it's closer. So, anyway, that's what's going on with the whole situation here. They're still going to starve to death. But you know, and I've had to jump through a lot of hoops on this channel over the years. I don't know if you guys know this, but I used to be known as the King of Jank, which was, put it frankly, it was a pretty well-earned position because I used to use, I still have it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. Let me show you something. I don't think I've got my brick anywhere, but... Okay. So, this is going to be a bit of a side tangent, but trust me. So, this right here is my original microphone that I ran on the channel for years. And this is actually the second one. The first one completely died, and I should have learned my lesson then, but I didn't. So let me make my head way bigger here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Wham, there you go. So basically this was like a tripod-based microphone, and you just set it on something like your desk like that, you know, and then you spoke directly into it. And you had to speak directly into it. It was the only way to make it even sound remotely good. So for a long time, I had a microphone in front of my keyboard, like in between my arms, and I just basically used it like this, which you can't hear it. It's not on, but I used it like this all the time because that was the only way you could get it to sound good. But I got really tired of it, like me having to basically hunch over the keyboard like this all the time. So what I did is I got this big board and I literally put this microphone, and it doesn't quite fit on there very well, but you would put it on this board in this specific shape like this, such that it barely fits. And then counterweight this with a literal brick that I just set on the other end of that board, such that the microphone wouldn't fall, and that I just cantilevered it off the edge of the desk. So it was basically being held off the desk, kind of like that. And it was the jankiest thing ever, but it worked, and it significantly improved the audio quality on the channel. You understand this is back in like 2022, but it significantly improved the audio quality on the channel because it allowed me to actually be close enough to the microphone. This thing doesn't hook up to a boom arm, by the way, which is why I couldn't just go buy a boom arm. But I also didn't have a way to hold my camera, and I used to just try to stick it on top of the monitor or something like that, which was a terrible setup because it always looked at me like from the top. So all you saw was my forehead like all the time. So I found a pole of wood from work at some point, and I stuck it on the table like that right there. And I just plopped the camera on top of that. But this was hardly ever tall enough. So I started stacking stuff, and I have a picture somewhere that I had it was a big can that came from Cheese Puffs that I stacked like 3 cans of tomato soup on top of. Then I stuck this thing on top of it and put the camera on top of that. And that lined it up with my desk height such that you could actually get a good angle of me. And I straight up used that setup for like 2 months before I finally figured out a way to make it better. It was awful. And you understand, I had no money on this channel. And I still don't. I don't make money from this channel. I was almost going to make money from this channel because it finally got monetized as of like actually not that long ago, because of the last video that I released on the channel. It was the best one I've ever released. And I'm like super happy that it did so well. But, and I'll talk more about it later. I want to make its own dedicated thing. But the point here is I was going to be monetized, but I screwed up the monetization settings because big idiot right here didn't know how that worked. So I set it up as an organization instead of an individual, which I am an individual, not working for some organization. And I thought it was talking about organizations in the form of I'm working with YouTube as an organization. And I was really tired when I signed up for it, and I was so excited that I just did it, right? Bad call. So I screwed up that, and I went into the YouTube people because I have access to those now. And I was like, hey, I screwed up. How do I fix that? And they were like, you're boned. You just have to make a new YouTube account. And I'm like, not gonna happen. It took me like 6 years, maybe 7, to get to the point that I could get monetized. I'm not doing that again. So they said, okay, well, make an entirely different email account and sync it with your YouTube account. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I did that. But then you have to wait like 30 something days between when you remove the account off of your YouTube channel to where you can put the new account on there for monetization for some reason, because YouTube just does that, I guess. So now I'm stuck in between, and I don't want to make another video, like a main form video that I would release on the channel, because I want that to be like a monetized thing if I'm going to put that much work into it, right? So now I'm like, I'm stuck in between the two situations. So cost of tuition is high on this one, but it could have been so much worse. Like if I had not caught that I messed up the monetization before, like super quickly, because you understand I only had $9 in there when I caught this. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. And the longer I wait, I'm still never going to get the $9 or whatever it snowballs into. So I canceled it immediately. And I'm so glad I did. But it's a mess, man. And I don't know how I'm going to fix that problem. I really hope that when the cooldown period ends here in a while, that I can actually get some money off of this channel. But it would be so nice just to make something off of this channel. Because like if I had got the $9, for example, from that I was going to get from that one video, I wouldn't have even gotten close to the amount of money that I have dumped into this YouTube channel. I mean, we're talking multiple, we're probably pushing $10,000, $15,000 at this point that I have never got back. If you include all the setup and the green screens and the cameras and the computer setup and all the lighting and the keyboards and all the software and games and stuff that I've bought over the years for editing and everything, it adds up quick. And I actually don't know what the total is because it kind of makes me sick to my stomach to even know what it is. But I just do it anyway because I like running this channel, but it's it's a lot. Just to give you an idea, the game that this computer is running on right now cost me like $3,500, and it is an absolute tank. It's basically not even running at the moment because I could run like Cyberpunk 2077 completely maxed out and record it at the same time on the same computer, and it's fine. And I mean, it's what it is, but you know, so it's just ridiculous, man. Like I'm so dedicated to this channel, but it is never paid out. And the reason for that is a lot of what I did in the past had very poor pacing compared to what a lot of people are making because I straight up don't have a lot of time to edit it. I'm stuck in a situation where the channel obviously has never paid me anything because I've never been monetized. So I can only put as much work into it as I have time to do as a hobby. Like you said, it's a hobby at that point, right? But I want to make really nice quality stuff. Like I have the capability to make that stuff. If you don't believe me, go watch the thrift store PC video and tell me that is a badly edited video. Like that video is the best video I have ever made. And it's the quality that I have been wanting to make for years. But I can't because of time issues, you know? So like, I run this channel when I can, but if it made me enough money, maybe I would be able to make more content for it because I could justify its existence, right? And I don't know. But anyway, that's more than I really wanted to get into, but that gets you the idea of like how much of a mess this has been over the years. And then I'm just a guy who likes making videos, and that's kind of what it is at the moment. But you understand I have like, what is it now? 900 something videos that are public on the channel? Let me just go check that real quick and we'll get back into this. I promise. But I want to know what it is here real quick. So it's 911 videos that are still public. I used to have about 950 something videos, but I took about 40 videos off when I started up the monetization thing because they didn't agree with YouTube's policies for monetization, and they were not watched hardly ever. There was like 6 views on a lot of those videos, for example. So I just took them off the channel. It was no big deal. You're not missing out. Trust me. So now I'm down to like 911 videos, but that's a crazy amount of work to put into a channel. But so yeah, and you're right that it is kind of like the dream of a lot of YouTubers to try to do that, but I don't think they realize what they're getting into. Like I know what it would take to run this channel as like a full-time job. And it would be a daunting amount of work to pull that off. But I would do it if I was confident enough that I would actually be able to make my return on investment. At this point, I'm not. So I'm going to make the content that I can. And If it does well, great. But I've got this suspicion that if I make content like I have been in the past, that it's never going to be able to succeed as well as the thrift store video does. Historically speaking, that's what happens. You make one video, it does really well, and unless you make basically an identical version of that video in a different context, it doesn't do that great. But the thing is, the thrift store video, by design, the thrift store video has to be kind of a one and done thing. Because it took me 300 and something days to make that video. Like, and it was an insane amount of work. So, you know, anyway, back to this though. What were we doing on here? Oh, we were trying to make the turtle farm and all that business. So why is this not growing? The fertilization, because we don't have, the thing is because we need that bit, right? Got it. But we need to save these other people's lives first, which means we need to get in here and make them do this. Okay. Anyway, do you think people, if I made a whole video about that, like, it was kind of that pacing, but a little bit better structured, do you think that people would be interested in hearing about that? Or when I was giving you that explanation, were you just like bored out of your skull? You know? Like, I don't know. I want to talk to people about that. And I thought about making that the very next video on the channel, because a lot of people thought that the thrift store computer video was fake, but it wasn't. It absolutely was a real thing. I don't do fake stuff on this channel, which is another reason why it took me so long to grow the channel. So, yeah. I don't know. It was just, I feel like this could be a lot more than what it is if it got a good kickstart. But unfortunately, I don't know that I'll ever make it there. So, it is what it is. And by a good kickstart, I mean, I'm going to have to get like a solid, I don't know how many it would actually end up taking. I'd say if I hit about 65,000 subs, that it would snowball up from there organically pretty reliably. But I am a far, far cry from that. So, I don't know. But I've had a lot of people tell me that the thrift store computer video was something you would see on a channel that had like 70,000 subs. And I've had people tell me that that's the one they'd see on like 2 million subs. But I don't disagree with them. But I don't know if this channel is sustainable for that at this point, because of time issues. So, you know, yeah, it's a mess. Long story short, it's a real mess. I'm gonna move that. I just don't like where it is. It's gonna go right there. I've moved this thing like 100 times now, and I'm just tired of doing it. I'm just giving it a permanent spot right there. And it's not really that important. Okay. One thing I do want to do though is I want to make some content. I had to think about how I was going to put this. I want to make content that I used to make, but make it better. And I mean that in the most literal sense. There's a lot of stuff that I did on the channel when I was first getting into it that I didn't do properly because I couldn't at that point, right? I physically did not have the setup to do what I was trying to do. But now I do. And it makes me wonder if I should go back and make some of my old stuff over again. There are certain things that I will never do that with. But there are things, like the Alien Isolation series that I never got to finish, that I would not mind going back and redoing. I feel like I could actually swing the edits that I was trying to do at that time it actually caused me about 2 years worth of work to figure out how to make a setup that would function properly to make the edits that I was trying to do in Alien Isolation. And I can now use it for all sorts of stuff. Like, I made this entire system that recolored the lighting of my face to match the background game. So like, for example, if I was looking at this, it would turn my face red, you know, kind of like it does right there a little bit, but that's unintentional. Whereas if I go over here, it would make my face kind of blue. And it does that. In this sense, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you're playing a game like Alien Isolation, where it's normally very dark, but then they hit you with this really bright, like red flashing alarm. And my face stuck out like a sore thumb because it didn't follow the lighting in the background of the game. And I didn't like that. So I was trying to figure out, I actually manually keyframed the first like 40-minute video. I did that actually for like 5 videos. And it took me, I had to do a manual keyframe every 4 to 8 frames. So that's like 30-something thousand times that I was going to have to change the coloring of my face. So I came up with like a really janky system to make it to where it wasn't 30,000 manual edits. And it did not work well, but it kind of got the job across. But then I came up with a legitimate system that does that. It was a lot of math, but I figured out how to do it. So now I can do that in the editors. And I've always wanted to go back with my refined system and get that to work. If you want to see that, go look up Outlast. I have an Outlast series on my channel that actually used the very first successful version of that. It legitimately, it worked. And granted, the Outlast videos are pretty rough as far as editing is concerned in my standards for today's channel, but the technology that ran that editing was awesome. So, anyway, I'm done with that. We're not talking about that anymore. We're gonna get back into this. And I only have about 10 minutes left that I can stream in this one. I do intend to keep playing this game though, so we're not super concerned about that. I need to figure out where I'm going to plant all the, what did the gum trees take? The gum palm. Gum palms need sulfur, that's right. I don't have sulfur, so forget trying to build those right now. Unless I give the seeds to these guys. Let me go do that somehow. Did we already get in there and get that seed? We have not. What do you mean filters? Oh, mealwood seeds. That one does need to be priority 9. And I'm actually going to P-rush this. I really need them to get that seed for me. Thank you. There's going to be 2 of them in there, and then we can just tell them to plant those as soon as they have it in there. Which they don't yet, so that is what it is. Thank you. Perfect. I just figured out where the storage system's probably going to go. And just drop this back to 8. So, we need to move this guy. Delete this stuff. Like this. Get rid of all of these. We're going to move it up 1 time. Okay, delete all of those. Oops, I had used the wrong tool. This right here is where the storage system is going to go. I'm going to use these ripple ones, these blue ones. You wouldn't trap yourself, you knucklehead. Okay. This guy looks kind of miserable. Oh no, he's just a baby. I mean, I don't mean he's not miserable, but, you know. Hey. Are you... Carl? Carl. Why is it always Carl? Alright, Carl, listen. You're gonna build that, okay? No, don't build it out of gum wood. I need that stuff. Build it out of this. Somebody get over there and build that immediately so Carl does not starve to death. Somebody build this ladder before Carl starves to death. That would be very wonderful of you. Thank you. And there he goes. No, he's good. Alright. Oh, insulated doors. Sick. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to need exosuits on this place at this particular juncture. So what I'm going to do is tell them to put all of the reed fibers into this thing, so that it takes them over to here, and I'll give these guys exosuits as a result. Now, I'm going to have to pull a risk here that I think I'm going to have to do in the next stream. But what I'm going to do is build stations that have exosuits right here. So, firstly, I need to be able to do this. So get rid of that. But they won't be able to dig that, and I'm going to send this guy through. We're going to check that out. Bloom squash. Take a bloom squash. I won't use it for a long time, but that's okay. So as soon as they get through there. Now, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one too, because it's also going to have the same problem. In you go. Okay, off he goes. This guy is just going to start digging. Also, can we make this like one of those? Make it look a little bit better. Yeah, see what I mean? He immediately goes to town on this, and then they can build the rest of this. And it looks like the stream is giving me a bit of a trouble here. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if there was quite a jump in the stream there or not. But anyway, I got this guy here in case there was a jump. So go ahead and set this to 8. Enable manual use. And we will just get this up there. Same thing as before with that. Deconstruct this bit. They'll start all that up and we'll figure out what this thing is. Cool. Now, the bit that I need to worry about, I really need them to build this, actually. Can you build that real quick? Not a huge priority, just, you know. I would rather that get built. That guy's elderly, eh? He's gonna die in 80 seconds. Man, what a countdown on that guy's life. Just die. Okay, how are we doing on the, okay, we need to let this kind of chill out for a minute. Stop. And put the gas element sensor, which I don't want to use right now because I'm trying to get the shearing station. Which I think I can go ahead and put in there real quick. Yes. This also needs a wall panel, though. Oh. Well, I can make that happen. Give me some drywall with... let's, put some aqua specs in there with one of them that's a big cheek bloater and a little bit of an aqua jelly on the top corner up there. That's the wrong one. There we go. And I can't build that yet, which I think is a bit of an oversight. Polluted mud, that stuff, that needs to be a pretty high priority, actually. Set everything to priority 5 once they get this built. See what I mean? It looks pretty nice back there. A little bit of a bloater and whatnot. You know, every time I see that word bloater, Like, I know it's spelled bloater, but it reminds me of The Last of Us. What, you know, the bloaters? Anyway. That's another one of those games that I wouldn't mind revisiting. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute. You got some strong skin there, Cameron. I need to not let you in there. Ever. So, let me, replace all these, by the way. We are going to need them. Except I can't do that one. It's going to have to be an actual power one, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I am going to have to call it right there. So we'll get this guy out of there. I'm going to tell them, just as a temporary thing, completely temporary. I just want to make sure nobody dies. I'm just going to put this over there somewhere. And they can build all that for me. But yeah, for now, I do have to dip. So that's that. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Turtle Dude. Oh, right before we go, I like making posts. I didn't do it for this one. I should have, but this one came about a little sooner. I will make a post on the post section of my YouTube channel that tells you guys when I'm going to do live streams, because I'm not very consistent about it. So it'll give you a heads up at least a few hours ahead of the time that I'm going to do the stream, ideally. Ideally, it'd be like a day or so. So, yeah, just watch out for those. You can pop back in if you want to see more of these streams. But that's all. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Turtle Dude. Peace out.